Kevin, franchise selection is a recruitment specialist for the franchising industry. Tell me how it works.
Well, we represent about 20 different brands throughout Australia, and what we look for is trying to make sure that our franchisees are the best quality franchisees for our franchisors. So ultimately we're looking for the best success for both parties. Too many franchisors, unfortunately, they adopt the sort of checkbook and heartbeat approach. They'll take anyone, but ultimately they pay the price for that long term when they get the wrong franchisees in their system. Our way of doing franchise recruitment is to find the right people, make sure they go through a screening process, evaluate whether they fit the franchisor, as importantly that they also are what the franchisor is looking for. Take them through the entire journey. Typically it's about a 2 to 3 month process that we take the applicant through. Getting the wrong person in the system is going to take a lot longer to get them out, so it's better to make sure we do that investigation first. We have a variety of franchisors we represent. The way we look at recruitment, it's a bit like kind of the Cinderella story with a shoe. If you try and fit that shoe to everyone, it's not going to fit everyone. So a franchisor doing their own recruitment to a certain degree, they're trying to fit a product to many people, hoping it'll fit. We're a bit more like the shoe shop. We've got shoes in every single size, in every different colour, so we fit a lot more people to the right franchise, and there's also opportunities where we can take them from one brand where they didn't fit and find something that does fit them. So both parties end up leaving happy, hopefully with a successful franchise with a long-term future ahead of them. Typically we see about a 98% success rate on our placement, which is about 18% above the industry average. Why? Because we recruit franchisees rather than sell them a franchise. That's what we do.
Okay, and in terms of someone coming to purchase a franchise, looking at what your offers are they paying costs? Is this going to cost them any money, this process?
It won't cost them a cent. We're paid by the franchisor for delivering them good quality franchisees. We only get paid by the franchisors when we find that person. So we take the risk, I suppose, of doing that. Because we deal with so many brands, our goal is to make sure that we find those people for the franchisor. And when we find that person and they've gone through the entire journey, they're delivered back to the franchisor at no cost to the franchisee. And if they're successful, we're paid by the franchisor for introducing them another franchisee to their system.
So in terms of personality types, I mean, clearly you've got quite a selection of franchise systems, as you've said. Different models require different skills and personalities, but is there an overriding personality trait or skill that any franchisee must have to be successful in their business?
Look, I suppose it comes down to personality of the person, attitude. Most of our people these days are our Gen X generation. They're probably around the sort of 35 to 45 years of age. So they've worked in life, they've accumulated some assets, and now they're sort of ready to put some of that on the line to back themselves. They know what they've been able to achieve for an employer, and they want to do something for themselves. The good thing about what we do is we're generally dealing with everyday people who are very positive. And it's great to be around. It's really almost infectious to deal with those sort of people because they want to take a step forward in their life that's going to be an improvement of their everyday situation, and finally wanting to work for themselves is maybe a dream that they've had for a long time. So it's a really important step that we get right and get the right fit. Attitude's probably like anything. If you're employing a staff member, attitude's important, but it's a lot harder to take a franchisee out of your system if you've taken the wrong one. So we really make sure we get that piece right. The other things we look at, we do a lot of psych profiling with some of our brands, so we look more than just past the attitude as whether they fit the franchise properly and they've got right attributes towards success. A lot of times we like to see people who have achieved a multitude of different areas in business, because when you're a franchisee there isn't really one role in a business. You're everything from, in some cases, the cleaner right through the person who pays the accounts and deals with the problems in a business, as well as dealing with staff, hiring and all sorts of things. So it's good to see sometimes people who've had a number of roles, been successful amongst those and looking for a challenge. As far as the business they choose, I think they've got to be interested in it. They've got to be something that they can get up every day and be excited about it. Not just looking at a P&L and the bottom line and saying, I want to buy that business because it makes a lot of money, because they'll get bored with it pretty quickly. So I think a bit of passion is important as well, that they like the brand that they are going to be associated with. And that's what we call cultural fit, when we get that part right.
So do you actually turn people away who are just not going to make good franchisees?
Yeah, it's probably hard to say that most people we meet don't qualify. So we probably turn away more people than I suppose are accepted. The conversion rates on good quality franchise recruitment, we're only probably talking about 1 or 2% of all people we talk to that would actually make it in the category of being someone we think is a suitable applicant. Why we get such a high placement of franchisee and the success long term is because we're only looking for that cream that rises to the top, the absolute best applicant, and that's why a lot of my clients use us and stick with us, because we deliver them very good long-term success and good applicants. Very rarely does a franchisor say no to an applicant we present, because they know that we are very heavily involved in their business to get to know what they're looking for. One of the unique things about franchise selection when we take on a client is we actually go and work in the business. And actually understand what the franchisor's business is all about and live a life in the day of the shoe of a franchisee. So when we're sitting in front of a franchisee to recruit them, we understand what we're really recruiting for. My background, I've been a franchisee as well as a franchisor, and I find that is an important part of the model of what we do, because we've actually been on the other side ourselves. We're not just selling a dream that we've never lived. We've been involved in that ourselves.